Hey everybody, it's Kalymnios here from thethoughtgym.com. I hope you're having a fantastic week. This week I wanted to share with you something to avoid doing so that you don't get disappointed. Disappointment quite often is within our control. There are different ways that we can get disappointed. One is to have expectations about an outcome before it happens. But the one I wanted to share with you this week is something that I've got to say I've been finding myself doing a little bit more recently, and that's why I wanted to share it with you. And this is the idea of comparing ourselves to other people. It's a great way to both feel good about ourselves, but also feel really shitty about ourselves sometimes. And especially in this world of social media where you see YouTube and Facebook and you see these people having amazing lives online, but you don't really know what's going on behind closed doors. But you might be like comparing yourself to other people. It's like, oh, so-and-so's got so many friends, or so-and-so's got so many subscribers or likes or this, that and the other. And although social media is a great way, in a sort of way, to connect us, it's also a great way to make us feel not so great about ourselves. We might be looking at old school friends and thinking, oh my god, they've done so much more than me, and yeah, I was so much smarter than them, or I was so much more popular than them, or whatever it might be. And the only thing that we can really do, and the only thing that we should really be comparing ourselves, is to how we were yesterday. And as long as we're improving on who we were, that's really all we can do. Comparing ourselves to other people just doesn't really serve us. It doesn't serve anyone really. It just serves us to make us feel bad about ourselves. And I'm sharing this with you because I'm human like everyone else, and I'm on Facebook and YouTube and all these things, and it's really hard to get away from things sometimes. And so I found myself comparing myself to other people, and it's been, maybe I'm thinking to myself, oh, I'm not doing as well as I could be. I mean, look at this person, they've grown exponentially in like the last couple of years that I've known them, and yet I'm still here. Or they've got so many subscribers, or they've got so many email lists, or they've got all of this kind of different things, or they've got this much money, and we went to the same school together, we grew up together. It doesn't help us to do this at all. And I realise this, but I know that we can get caught in this trap. So here is my invitation. Why don't you and I this week go a week without comparing ourselves to other people? It's pretty challenging. We'll see how we get on. But the idea being is that it's going to be impossible not to have that moment or that thought where you are comparing yourself to other people. I think that's going to be pretty challenging. But what I want you to do, and this goes for me too, is that when we get this thought in our heads about comparing ourselves to someone else, whether that's a spouse, a family member, an ex-boyfriend, an ex-girlfriend, a school friend, an ex-colleague, whatever it might be, whenever we catch ourselves comparing ourselves to them, especially in a negative way, but I would say in any way whatsoever, then just pause, take a time out, catch yourself in that moment, because then you'll start to develop that muscle where you'll be able to catch yourself doing it more and more often, and then you'll start doing it less and less. I've implemented this kind of strategy with negativity as well. So when I think a negative thought about someone or something, it's not that I never have a negative thought, but when I catch myself in that, and a classic one that I'm afraid to admit still crops up, is in London, on the Underground, when you're going up and down the escalators, everyone is supposed to stand on the right and walk on the left. And occasionally, and it's usually tourists or people who are either in love or drunk or whatever, they may stand on the left, and then that's like probably the only thing in the world that I think irritates me. I don't know why, but when I catch myself seeing them do that, I start to feel a bit irritated and think like less than positive thoughts, put it that way. But as soon as that happens, I catch myself doing that and I say, hey, just chill out, Harry. Maybe just tap them on the shoulder, ask them to move, whatever it might be. They're not from this country, they're not paying attention, whatever is going on, who cares? And I release that negative emotion, that negative thought. So the idea with comparing ourselves to other people is not that it will never happen, because I think in the beginning it's going to happen, and it's going to happen quite a lot, especially if we're still involved in social media. But when you catch yourself comparing yourself to someone else, just realise and recognise you're doing that. Recognise that that's not going to serve you, and that's more than likely going to create an emotion that you don't want, whether that's disappointment, frustration, anger, resentment, an idea of one-upmanship. Maybe you're going to feel better than them because you're doing better than they are. Whatever it is that you're comparing yourself to, know that it's happening, and just decide not to do it anymore. So that's my invitation to both you and me this week. We're going to move forward with this. We are going to catch ourselves if we do compare ourselves to others, and we're going to just stop it and just say, well, you know what, the only person I should be comparing myself to is my previous self. Am I doing better than I previously was? And that's all we can really ask for. We're all going to move at different paces in life. We're all going to have different successes at different times, failures at different times. We're going to all go through our ups and downs. So comparing ourselves to other people is really a bit redundant. So know that that is just a great way to avoid feeling disappointed with yourself, your life, or anything else, is just to cease comparing yourself with others. Okay, that's it for this week. That is all we're going to do. We're going to catch ourselves in the moment, not compare ourselves. And the next thing you're going to do is subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to this channel. Remember to share it, do comment. I do respond to all the comments I get through, at least until I start getting 10,000 comments or something like that. But right now, I'm responding to all the comments, so do leave me a comment and I will speak to you very soon. Until then, have a fantastic week. Bye bye.